The Avenger Titan is a Size 2 starter ship of Star Citizen. Produced by Aegis Dynamics, the Titan has been available since Alpha version 1.0, formerly known as just the Avenger. For a long time, the Titan has been considered the best starter ship, but with so many new starters available today, is the Titan still relevant? Hi, I'm Joru5, and in this video I'll tell you what I like, what I don't like, and what I will do to improve the Avenger Titan. If you're not familiar with the concept of starter ships, I suggest you watch my Drake Cutter video linked in the description. It provides valuable insight into the subject. In short, starter ships are ships that meet the following criteria: an affordable price, a size no larger than 3, versatility and balanced performance. The Titan is Aegis Size 2 starter ship offering, and it has been around for quite some time, and while its look has remained relatively unchanged, the ship has undergone a few reworks over time. Originally conceived as a cockpit-only multi-role fighter, the ship was soon resized to feature larger interiors, enhancing its multi-role capabilities. The Avenger series took its final form in version 3.2, with all the variants becoming flight-ready and the canopy ladder being added. In terms of lore, the Avenger is a legendary ship. It has been around for about 3 centuries and has served as the premier frontline carrier since 2792. It was later used as the standard patrol ship for the UEE Advocacy, the department responsible for the legal and law enforcement functions of the United Empire of Earth. As of today, there are 5 variants of the Avenger, 4 of which are playable. These include the Titan, which has the largest cargo capacity, the Warlock, which is armed with an EMP, the Stalker, which was the original UEE Advocacy variant, equipped with a higher top speed and 6 prison cells for transporting criminals, and the Renegade, an alternative weapon layout variant of the Titan. The 5th variant of the Avenger is the N6G, a 2-seater version used by the UEE Navy to train fighter pilots, hopefully playable in Squadron 42. Although the Avenger is still used sparingly as a patrol ship, most of its use today is in the civilian market, where the Titan is the most popular variant. Its popularity is due to its versatility, low maintenance costs, and good combat performance. And it's time to find out what I like. Combat DNA. In my view, the Avenger series holds certain similarities with the Vanguard series, which are Size 3 heavy fighter from the same manufacturer. Lore-wise, the 2 series were released in close proximity, with the Vanguard debuting in 2737 and the Avenger in 2760. Both series have an airplane-like look, rely on a substantial nose-mounted weapon for offensive capabilities, and have similar internal layouts with living quarters for the crew. Both also offer an EMP variant, and that fascinates me, because it highlights a side of the Titan that is easy to overlook: its combat DNA. Equipping the Titan with a Size 4 and D4B ballistic repeater on the nose and twin Size 3 ballistic cannons on the wings unleashes a staggering 2616 in direct damage and 438 in alpha damage, enough to quickly shred any ship up to Size 3. This makes the Titan an affordable and effective combat vessel for handling PvE group bounties up to high-risk targets, even though moderate-risk targets is a better fit. Nose mount. A nose weapon mount makes attacking ground targets much easier, because you don't have to adjust your weapon convergence, unless you plan to use all 3 weapons for ground attacks. Maneuverability. The Titan is an excellent ship to fly around in. It has one of the best deceleration rates in the game, and I personally find its flight model to be one of the most enjoyable. While it may not perform exceptionally well in atmospheric conditions, it still holds up well enough to avoid any significant problems. The Titan is so predictable and forgiving that even the clumsiest pilot won't be able to crash it. In combat, its maneuverability is comparable to that of medium fighters. Lacking the agility of a pure dogfighter like the Gladius and the durability of a medium fighter like the Hornet, The Avenger series is not really suited for PvP. In PvE, however, the Avenger is agile enough to deal with any threat. Versatility. The Titan is a versatile ship. As mentioned, it has pretty good combat capabilities and can also carry 8 SU of cargo, which is quite decent for its size and allows you to do some basic trading. The Titan is also well suited for smuggling illegal goods. While a ship like the 315P is more tailored for this task due to its higher cargo capacity, top speed and acceleration, the Aegis starter compensates with its superior combat capabilities. The Titan can also carry a PTV, which, while not great for traversing rough terrain, can still get you and a friend into enemy bunkers. Cockpit entrance. The Titan is one of the few size 2 ships in Star Citizen that has multiple entrances, one from the cargo bay and one from the cockpit. This is a cool feature because it allows you to fill the cargo hold to the brim and still have access to the pilot's seat, which is not possible on many other ships like the Cutter. This design also makes it easier to access the vehicle when it's parked on uneven terrain, where an access door might end up too high to reach. Affordable. With an in-game price of 785,000, the Titan isn't exactly a budget-friendly size 2 ship, especially when you consider that even the 300i, a luxury ship, costs 20,000 less. To put this price in perspective, the cheapest ship with a quantum drive, the Aurora ES, costs 1,024,000. The Mustang Beta, the most affordable ship with decent accommodation, costs around 400,000. Even the Reliant Core, a popular alternative for light cargo, is 40,000 cheaper. The Nomad, a newer ship with a capacity of 24 SU, costs only 200,000 more. Despite all this, I still think the Titan is a great deal, since none of the previous ships can match its combat capabilities. You won't find a better fighter for the price today. Even after spending about 100,000 for a better combat setup, the final cost of the Titan is 885,000, which is almost 100,000 cheaper than the Arrow and about 300,000 cheaper than a Gladius. For PvE missions, the Titan has no significant disadvantages over an Arrow or Gladius. Its slightly lower maneuverability is offset by higher damage output thanks to the size 4 nose mount. For the price, it also offers more versatility than dedicated fighters, allowing you to take on delivery missions, trade and support beacons. Moreover, the Titan has low operating costs. Repairing the Titan always feels affordable, and it has one of the lowest hydrogen costs per hour. Headlights. The Titan is equipped with excellent headlights, a feature not so common in Star Citizen. The presence of reliable headlights in an everyday ship is an aspect that should not be underestimated. And now, the things I don't like about the Avenger Titan. Aesthetics. It's a matter of personal preference, but I can't stand the weathered cockpit of the Titan. I understand the concept. It's a ship that's been in service for 200 years. But given that the second-hand market is not yet present in the game, I find this aesthetic choice rather puzzling. Personally, I would have preferred to see the worn version as an alternative skin for the Titan. Even better, a skin that is unlocked after using the ship for a while. Also, I think the design concept of the Avenger would have been better suited for a larger ship, like a size 3 or even 4. After all, the Avenger is clearly inspired by the Space Shuttle, which evokes the idea of a much larger ship than a size 2. Internals. The Titan is far from the gold standard, and it's almost inevitable that it will get a complete overhaul at some point. Not only do the internals feel outdated, but important features like the component access and weapon racks are missing. The lack of a weapon rack undermines the versatility of the Titan by reducing its effectiveness in ground missions, especially when compared to ships that do have this feature, such as the Cutter and the Nomad. My review of these ships is linked in the description. The Titan even includes some questionable fictional features, such as fake component access, non-working screens, and a retractable step that leaves me speechless, as it seems not only pointless but potentially harmful. Finally, the living area is one of the saddest in the game. It has no toilet, not even a retractable one, it has no windows, although they could have put one on the roof like in the 300i, and not even a screen or a fridge, it just has a bed in an aseptic prison-like room. Cargo area. The cargo capacity of the Titan could easily have been doubled with better management of the cargo area. Unfortunately, the vertical space of the Titan is not used effectively because the upper part is obstructed by structural elements, which makes no sense. Since the SCU is a standard size, why designing a cargo bay that wastes so much space? By smoothing out such structural elements and widening the top a bit, the Titan could have carried up 16 SCUs. This would have been even more faithful to the lore, as this ship is said to have been used as a frontline carrier for a long time. It is simply not believable that the cargo bay was not perfected to its maximum potential. Boost charge. The boost of the Titans wears off quickly, limiting its effectiveness in combat against dedicated fighters that can perform extreme maneuvers for extended periods of time. Given the combat-oriented background of the Avenger series, which served as the standard patrol ship for the UEE advocacy, one might expect boost performance more in line with dedicated fighters. Game package price. Today, the game package that includes the Titan costs about $92, which I think is too much for a ship that is so far from the gold standard. The problem is that the game packs in general have started to be too expensive. In just the past year, the cost of the game package with the Titan has increased from $70 to $90, and the one including the Cutlass Black has risen from $115 to $152. I completely understand the need for the game to have a steady revenue stream, but I have reservations about raising prices on ships that require significant updates. Moreover, starter ships are the ones that new players use. I'm really surprised that CIG doesn't prioritize their quality first and make sure they provide the best starter experience possible instead of just raising their prices without updating them. Screens. The cockpit of the Titan has only 3 screens, only 2 of which are easily visible without having to lower your head. The problem is that the radar is poorly placed and takes up most of the visible area. By making the radar screen round and placing it just below the top of the instrument panel, the third screen would have been easily visible. Stock configuration. The stock setup of the Titan leaves a lot to be desired, as it does not take advantage of the size 4 mount on the nose. The included size 3 ballistic repeater has so little ammunition that it can barely take down a single size 2 target. Since the Titan is agile enough to handle fixed weapons, I personally like to install an AD4B ballistic repeater, which has tremendous firepower and a good amount of ammo. Since it has a low muzzle velocity, you will also need to change the wing weapons and install size 3 lasers or ballistic cannons that have the same muzzle velocity. Mixing weapons with different muzzle velocities makes the peep inconsistent and misleading. In other words, you can't aim properly. All these changes are not cheap, and to unleash the true potential of the Titan, you will need to spend about 100,000 each time the game is wiped. Final verdict. Before we get to the final verdict, don't forget to like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Subscriptions are so important for this channel and will bring you more videos. Thank you very much. Now, I think that the Titan still manages to be the best definition of a starter. It's affordable, it's versatile, and it's good at one specific activity. All other starters, except for the Nomad, fail on one or more of the previous points. The Aurora is not versatile. The Mustang Alpha, Cutter, Sayet X and 100i do not have a specific activity they are good at, and the Cutlass Black and Freelancer are not affordable. This means that the ships I consider true starters today, where by starter I mean affordable multi-role ship, are the Titan and the Nomad. These are the only size 2 starters that can be really useful even for veteran players with a hangar full of fancy ships, as the Titan and Nomad are fast to claim and suitable for many activities. While the Nomad is a great ship for solo planetary operations, the Titan is a great low-cost fighter with living quarters and cargo capabilities. But the Titan has a major drawback. It is badly in need of an update, as it has no weapon rack, no component access, and is visually outdated. For all these reasons, my final verdict on the Titan is 6 out of 10. Don't get me wrong, this may seem like a low score, especially considering that I love the Titan and consider it a great starter. However, I cannot overlook the fact that CIG has still not updated this ship to the latest standards, despite it being a popular starter. While some may argue that the outdated condition of the ship is consistent with its lore, I find this explanation difficult to accept. In lore, the Gladius is even older, as the first version appeared in 2579, 2 centuries before the Avenger. Nevertheless, the Gladius has already reached the gold standard. And yes, the gold standard became a thing for Squadron 42, but today it is also an important feature in the persistent universe, for scavenging and for the upcoming repair system. I cannot stress this enough. The Titan is an important starter used by many players, and it is imperative that it be upgraded to gold as soon as possible. The lack of a weapon rack is hard to accept for a ship that has long served as the main patrol ship in the UEE advocacy. In addition, the poor optimization of the cargo area and the lack of refinement of the living quarters also contribute to the lower score. But either way, it is undeniable that the Titan and the Avenger series in general still manages to be the best size 2 combat-oriented multi-role ship. In the next episode, The 100 Eye, can you guess what I like and what I don't? Until next time, see you in the verse.